little live thing in the corner is lit. That means we're live. What's up, folks? J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. It's the debut on rantwithant.com. I just want to say I'm pretty stoked about this, to be back teaming up with the guys. It's been a long time since I worked with these guys, and it's one of those things where just because you may not talk to each other all the time or whatever, the stuff you did in the past stands up by itself pretty darn good, and the relationships you build, and it's just great to be back with them. We've done some really great things together in the past. I mean, these guys have done some really incredibly unselfish things, I'll say that. With the stuff, with the fundraising that we used to do a couple years, within the last few years. We did one at, it was a couple Manias ago. We did one during, I think it was SummerSlam or something, for different charities, and it just being involved in that, and them, bringing a bunch of different podcasts in for it and different entertainers for interviews and stuff. And then, and that was back when they were the Wrestle Addict. And now what G-Rod and Ant have done, gone out and done the Rant with Ant and brought in Phil and just brought it to a whole new level. And just to be back with this team has just been, I'm happy. I'm really happy. If I can help, their website grow, and if they can help me, it's just everybody working together. That's the way it should be, podcast supporting podcasts, and the help is much appreciated, and I can feel the love. So it's great to be back with these guys. If you're not catching it live, this will go up on the website when it's done, reloading later tonight. So don't feel like if you're not catching it live, you're not going to catch it. So yeah, this is going to be my first Impact Wrestling review for with the support of rantwithant.com. And wow, what a loaded episode. I mean, that's I hate, I'm not trying to sound like a troll when I'm saying this. This is sincere. This is someone who's watched the WWE for so long. And I'm not sitting here saying, oh, well, I'm going to stop watching the WWE. No, I'm not saying that. So don't twist it. But man, when 2 hours of Impact Wrestling, in my opinion, completely destroyed 5+ hours of WWE earlier this week, man, it's just the show's got to have some kind of flow to them. You can't just be throwing a bunch of random stuff at the wall. I think honestly, and I said this to a couple of friends, I think Vince got the Fox deal for $1 billion, got drunk with a bottle of old school Wild Turkey, took the script for Monday Night Raw, ripped it up, and said, F it, I'm out of here. And went home. And then they were all left like, all right, we got a show to do. Let's get some ideas together. And that was at 5 minutes to 7. And we see how it ended up. It's just crazy. It's just, oh man. When you see stuff like that happening, and then you see a brand like Impact Wrestling putting on, I'm not saying Impact Wrestling is perfect, okay? But what they've done consistently over the last several weeks, I'd say several months, from the beginning of the year with this new regime and the talent coming in, the matches they're putting on, the storylines they're telling, the rivalries they're building, folks, with as many, and I'll say it once, I'll say it a million times, if you are tired of complaining about the WWE, and I'm not going to rag on any of my followers on Twitter, but man, there are some pissed off people out there. There are some upset wrestling fans out there. Oh my God, that's like nothing new. No, I know that's nothing new, but seriously, I mean, like this week was ridiculous. The highlight for me this week was just wanting to see Daniel Bryan versus Jeff Hardy. That's it. That was it for me. The other 5 hours, forget it. I couldn't wait for Impact Wrestling. So let's get into this. All right, that's my. I don't rant much, folks. Okay, but that's my mini rant. Okay, it's that's one thing I try not to do is be too negative on here. Okay, that's first and foremost. I've seen other podcasters come on here and just rip the hell out of something, and it's if that's all you're doing on here, seriously, stop watching wrestling. I stopped watching another guy for like the second time because that's all he was doing was whining and bitching and moaning. And it's like, dude, go. You need Jesus. You need Jesus. Just, I don't know, man. Just take a break from it or something. I don't know. All right. Impact Wrestling from this week. Crazy episode. Let's you know what? Let's work backwards. Should we work backwards? Because that ending, holy shnikes, folks. Who is the X guy? And if you're watching live, by all means, chime in with me. Give me some ideas because it's getting crazy. We saw a great match between two big bulls tonight that started weird. No Jimmy Jacobs. Where the hell was Jimmy Jacobs? He's usually coming out looking all, like he said about, 15 martinis. No, he's I'm sure he's sober. He's what's the word I'm looking for? Eclectic? I think that's the word I'm looking for. I'm far from eclectic. I'm a t-shirt, beard wearing bum. But he always has like a fancy jacket, his hair all teased up, maybe a little bit of guy liner, and looking like he's ready to party. And there was no Jimmy at the side of Congo Kong. In fact, Congo Kong looked, well, he was coming out. He basically was coming out to the ring looking like somebody was like shoving him out the door like, look, we can't find Jimmy. You've got a match to do. If we find him, we'll send him out. That's the look that Congo Kong had on his face. And, I honestly think this match would have ended differently if Jimmy was out there. Jimmy's not one to like get involved too much unless at the end at a big attack or something. He's more of a psychological guy. He'll mess with you before the match, get in your head, stuff like that. And, just his presence at ringside is very intimidating. But there was no Jimmy Jacobs. And then we saw, like I said, at the end, we found out what happened to Jimmy because that little promo started right at the end, right after Moose won. And it was a little rewind showing the different attacks. Grado was crying. That was probably the best part of it. Somebody get Grado a tissue. Seriously, that was rough. Oh my God, poor Grado. Just losing his mind backstage. Let's go cry on Katarina's. Did I say that right? I wrote it down. Katarina. Yeah, I said it right. I keep wanting to say that salad dressing. Catalina. So who is this? The symbol with the X, and I love the visual of this. I mean, they are really throwing. What did my mom used to say back in the day? A hamdinger? I don't know if that's a Southern thing. I don't know what the hell that is. But anyways, uh, um, who is this guy? I slowed down. I found the promo and I was watching it like over and over right before I went live, trying to like look at the silhouette. The silhouette's on like the side, and you see like half a silhouette. And I'm looking at this silhouette and I'm like, who the hell is this dude? Looks like it's some bald dude. I had an idea of who it was for a few weeks, but I don't know if I'm right anymore. I thought it was either, I'll say it, because we're going to find out soon. It's got to be either next week or during the next set of tapings. I thought it was either Kevin Cross or this PCO guy that's starting to get a lot of attention. I don't know. Pierre, if you don't know who I'm talking about, Pierre Carl Ouellet. I think I said that right. He's a French-Canadian guy. Former WWE guy, he was in TNA a long time ago, but the dude is a beast. He is a psychotic beast, and he really had a lot of eyes on him during the whole WrestleCon weekend when all those different shows were going on surrounding WrestleMania. He was getting a lot of attention. He had a match with someone during Joey Janela's spring break, I think. I think the footage is out there. I'm going to go look it up at the end. And I don't even know what this dude's ring entrance music sounds like, but whatever it is, it's terrifying. It's like Slayer metal. It's, I'm more like Poison and Bon Jovi and Motley Crue and, old school 80s rock. But this dude is coming out to some Slayer sounding shit. Oh man, it's bad news. So, let me know your thoughts and comments on who this dude is. Who do you think the silhouette is pretty intimidating. Some bald dude with, no neck, shoulders up to, I can't do it. I'm not built like that. But anyways, hell of a match between Moose and Congo Kong. I think it would have ended really differently. Moose comes out with a win, big ass spear. And at the end, going over this, we'll go over the Under Pressure card. It might get changed a little bit. We might get a couple matches added on there next week. We'll see. Well, we got to remember it's a show, not like a 3-hour pay-per-view. So it might stick to what it is, but we'll see. But we'll get to that in a little bit. That promo with Allie looking in the mirror, wearing the Rosemary face paint, the demon face paint, if you will, Hiveling face paint. Scary. What did it say on the mirror? Don't let the darkness consume you. A message from Rosemary. And Allie's like, too late. Nope. Got the paint on. She's going to wear it for like a week straight and just get weird. And her boyfriend's going to be like, it's not going to end well. Getting ready for next week for that one. Hell of a match between Desmond Xavier and Petey Williams. I'd say that is the match of the episode. Absolutely. Now, what we find out during this match was, I'm sorry, I can't help but laugh. If you follow me on Twitter, you saw what I put. In fact, Brian Cage even liked it. That warms my heart. Shout out to Brian Cage, one of the baddest MFers out there. Oh my goodness. Desmond Xavier versus Petey Williams. The winner, you ready for this? The winner gets to face, at Under Pressure, Brian Cage. How excited would you be? I'd feel like, the winner gets to, yeah. Oh, wait. What's the winner gets. You would think like, all right, if you lose this match, you have to face Brian Cage. No, the winner gets. How messed up is that? That's. What did I put up? Oh, I put up the gif of Kanye going. Wait, no, that ain't cool. That ain't cool, man. Now, do I think Desmond Xavier can beat Brian Cage? Yes, but his chances are slim to none. Okay. Now, I mean, Brian Cage has been undefeated since day one, walking in the door of Impact Wrestling. He has been leaving a path of destruction behind him, and not pretty breadcrumbs. No, not colorful, nice little Skittles or M&Ms. No, he's leaving bodies behind him. He's no Boy Scout. Bad boy. So, and then, okay, now the winner of that match at Under Pressure next week between Desmond Xavier and Brian Cage will be the number one contender for the X division. So that kind of wraps everything up in a pretty little bow as far as knowing what the purpose for Brian Cage is so far in Impact Wrestling. And we saw this like a month ago at the last show. He faced, well, it wasn't 1 versus like 6, but it was like a 6 or 7-way match. A lot of X Division guys and Brian Cage. And, you know, it was like, oh, it's Brian Cage versus the X Division. Well, I think that's a great way to define the X Division, is that there's like no limits. There's no boundaries. You don't have to be 205, you know. You don't have to be 5 foot nothing and 150 pounds. No, you can be whatever you want to be a part of the X Division. You can be a part of the X Division. It doesn't matter. Congo Kong could be part of the X Division. I think that's, I mean, it's true, but that's terrifying. I just had a picture in my head from Blazing Saddles where Mongo is like on the piano and he's got like 10 guys behind the piano and he's just crushing them. That'd be like Congo Kong in the ring with the X Division. Everybody from the X Division just squishing them in the corner like grapes. Oh God, I need therapy after that one. All right. Jesus. Interesting thing that was brought up from Josh Matthews during the Desmond Xavier Petey Williams match. Talking about different people that were going to be, he started listing names. I don't remember why he was listing off names. Oh, and then said about the knockouts that are going to be featured at Under Pressure, something like that, and then said, "Oh, I wonder if Tessa and I think he mentioned Su Yung. I wonder if they'll face off at All In." That's interesting. Wouldn't that be interesting if Su Yung was part of All In? I don't know. I know Tess is part of it. I can't remember if Su Yung is. There's a few Impact Wrestling folks that are part of the StarCast, but they're not booked on All In. But we've got months away from that show, and I'm sure they're going to add a few more people. I mean, we've got we've got a decent amount of people booked for the show, one match booked. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if Impact Wrestling gets involved somehow in, like if they actually put any Impact titles on the show. Like the NWA Championship is being defended as the headliner for All In. Said NWA champ, whoever it is at the time, September 1st, versus Cody Rhodes. Will we see any other championships from other companies being defended at All In? That would be very interesting. Would certainly put some weight on that show. I mean, it's already sold out, so it really doesn't matter what they do. If they could have 12 guys walk into the ring and, play tiddlywinks and be like, hey, enjoy the show. Too sweet. No, that wouldn't be too sweet. That would be too bad. Let's see. So, yeah, just interesting that they mentioned All In and that Tessa being there, and love to see. We'll be closely following that to see if anything specifically from Impact Wrestling gets featured on All In. Let's see. Working our way backwards through the show. LAX. You know what? We're going to jump around here a little bit because these two things are tied together. We get a great tag team match from Cult of Lee. Trevor Lee and Caleb Conley versus LAX. Santana and Ortiz losing again. That's like the 5th or 6th time LAX has lost in a row. That's not good. That's a hell of a losing streak. And then later on, a couple segments later in the show, they're in the clubhouse and they're just losing their minds. They're upset. They're pissed off. They got no booze. They got no hose. They got no paper. And Eddie Kingston shows up. So it looks like we have Eddie Kingston officially as a member of LAX, but he's part of I don't know what their south of the border chapter is, the Mexican chapter. He's part of the New York chapter of LAX, I guess. So, welcome Eddie Kingston back to Impact Wrestling. Hopefully you can, and it sounded like he was giving his boys a pep talk. But I was thinking before Eddie Kingston showed up, I was like, man, I wonder if I could help out LAX. I mean, I'm not much of a drinker and I'm out of beer, so I can't help them there. And I don't think I'd be much help in the hose department. I mean, I think my wife would get a little upset, if I was trying to contact hose and be like, hey, Santana and Ortiz they need some cheering up. Could you go? Yeah, I don't think my wife would understand that much. I don't think that'd be a bad idea. But paper, let me tell you about paper. I got paper. See this notebook? Full of paper. No, I'm not going to give you that. Those are medical records. I don't think they'd want to be reading those. I got magazines. I don't know what that is. I got more notebooks back here. If you want paper, LAX, I got paper. I could go to the dollar store. I could get you a handful of notebooks. LAX, hit me up. Send me your address. I will send you some notebooks. I will send you some paper if you're out of paper. I know how frustrating it is when I'm doing a podcast and I can't take notes because I just lost my page. What was I talking about? Oh, anyways. Paper. That's what they're talking about, isn't it? Not. Oh. I turned in my pimp card a long time ago, folks. I don't know about paper and hose. All right. Cut me some slack. All right. Back to the show. We've got the X Division Championship up for grabs. Matt Sydal, the champion, defending against Phantasma. And a very awkward conversation about Point Break during this match. Something about Keanu Reeves making Josh Matthews moist. Oh, dear Lord. I gotta tell you, I love the team of Don Callis and Josh Matthews because they do a great job. They are a good combo. I'm not going to say they're the best combo out there, but they do a damn good job because they're new, you know. Don Callis coming back into the world of professional wrestling within the last year to 2 years, being a part of the commentary on New Japan, and now being a, what do they call him? Co-vice president, I think, of Impact Wrestling, and now they're putting him in the commentary booth. He's a hell of a mind for professional wrestling. He really is. He brings a certain dark humor, and I don't know how else you describe it. He's got a great mind for wrestling, dark sense of humor, and you know, he just covers a bunch of different ranges as far as, you know, he's not just a color guy, he's not just a play-by-play guy, he's like everything, you know. He's just good mix with Josh Matthews. Yeah. But when they were joking about, you know, they promo stuff on Pop, and following this is Point Break. By the way, if you're joining and you're watching me and you're not watching Point Break, because God knows 1991 Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves are a hell of a lot more sexy than I am. So, okay, thank you. Thank you for making me a part of your evening. And everyone else who's probably going to watch this after the fact probably is going to tune in after Point Break. Hey, understood. I get it. Swayze is a sexy motherfucker. As soon as I saw that was on After Impact, I was like, oh, nobody's going to tune in for this shit. Nobody. But thank you. Thank you. Matt Sydal defeating Phantasma. Phantasma looked off tonight. I got to say that. Phantasma usually is, boom, bullets to the head sharp in the ring. And tonight, he looked off. It was a slower paced match. I think maybe he was a little banged up. I think he was. Yes, I think he was. Next, we get a backstage segment with Drake and Steiner. It's looking like they're breaking up. So no more. What is that tag team called? What did they call them? The Big Bad Gravy Daddy and the Big Bad Booty Daddy. I don't know if they actually came up with a tag team name, but looks like they are not together no more. Very, very cool classic moment. Not that classic, probably less than 10 years old, but we'll call it classic because it's TNA, not Impact Wrestling. Jeff Hardy as the champ in the ring doing a promo with Bully Ray Dudley. Brooke Hogan in the background. I don't know if anybody saw that. Of course you saw that. Whew. Warm in here. Hulk Hogan coming out, talking about the big match coming up. Sorry, I forgot what pay-per-view they were gearing for. And then Aces and Eights comes out. Man, that is some classic stuff. Good old Aces and Eights. Those were some interesting, you know, I know not everybody is fond of the days of Hogan being in TNA, But man, that Aces and Eights storyline, that was good stuff. I was very fond of that. That was probably the best thing they did back then. And then it kind of got out of control, kind of like the NWO. But Bully Ray as champ was priceless. He was a hell of a single star. And I don't know if everybody thought he could do it, but he did it. He really did. I mean, he carried, I'll say it, he carried that company for a while. And it's interesting that they showed Hogan, because Hogan's been in the news a lot lately. All this stuff. Oh, he's 2 seconds away from going back to the WWE. Oh, no, he's a long way from coming back to the WWE. It changes every 5 minutes. If you watch it, it's hilarious. Hogan's probably reading this like, oh, dear Lord, I need to go hit the gym again. And he, he turns off his TV. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Do you think Hogan could return to the company, Impact Wrestling? Yes, I know it was TNA back then, but do you think he could return? Because he ain't going to come back to WWE anytime soon. And it sounds like he wants one last shot at the spotlight. I don't think he's ready to go in the ring. But just to be a part of wrestling again. I want to hear your honest opinion on it. Don't troll me. Don't be like, oh, you're full of crap. No, I just want to hear your opinion on it. Do you think Hogan could be a fit in Impact Wrestling again? Just as I don't think like he was GM before. Not as an authority figure, although if he's not an authority figure, I don't know what he'd do. Be like a hype guy? I don't know. But I want to hear your serious thoughts on that. I'm on the fence on it. I don't know. I love Hogan, but I don't know. Let's see. Funny as Hell segment with Falaba, KM, Grado, and Katarina. They called Grado a chubby chaser. Or no, they called Katarina. Oh, I screwed that up. They called Katarina a chubby chaser. I haven't heard that term used since back when I was in the bar, and it was, oh my God, I think, isn't that like a military thing? I don't know. But that was hilarious. So what are we going to see next? We're going to see Falaba start dressing like KM with the sleeveless vest and the trunks and the... Oh, that's just too much sexy there. Oh, that Falaba. All right. Covered the Cult Elite versus LAX. Okay, here we go. The start of the evening was absolutely insane. Crazy. It was like... the show went like this, but it wasn't in a bad way. It started out insane. Then it had some good matches, some interesting little segments, some nice little promos. It flowed. The show is, at the risk of sounding stupid, the show flowed. And if you agree with me, let me know. Hit me up in the comments. Started out with OVE with Callahan versus Drago and Aerostar. And I was like, oh, that is a hell of a start of an episode of Impact Wrestling. I was stoked for this. But it got ruined by one man. I hope we can see like if they do, I don't even care if it's a throw-in match at this point. Seeing the Chris brothers, OVE versus Drago and Aerostar. I want to see the complete match someday. Because those two could tear down a house. Give them a TLC match, or give them a first, what do you call that? Give them a number one contenders match for the tag team championships. Whoever wins becomes number one contender, and have it be a no holds barred match. They could do chairs, tables, ladders, kendo sticks up the yin yang and whatever. Let them do it. That would be sick. So Eddie Edwards shows up with his wife, just losing her mind, trying to stop him. He runs in the building, attacks OVE and Callahan with the kendo stick, and it takes 6 men while her wife is screaming to hold back Eddie Edwards. He is just turning red, drooling, rabid, just nutsos. And then eventually it looks like they settle him down, and he takes out security. It's absolutely nuts. We have Mr. Anthony DeStefano in the chat. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. I will read that later. And so, yeah, absolutely. You know, the match started out great, chaotic finish. This whole thing with Eddie Edwards is just absolutely effing cuckoo. And it sounds like it's going to end up, I don't know how and where they're going to finish this. If they're going to do like if they're really going to do this thing, because with the post that Callahan put after the show, something to the effect of, let's do this out in the woods or something. I don't know if they're going to film something. I don't know. But this is not going to end pretty, folks. This is just going to get absolutely absolutely just, I don't know. I love it, though. I'm not complaining. I absolutely love this, because from start to finish, this thanks. Thank you, Ant. This whole thing, just see Callahan attacking Eddie Edwards, starts out like that with the baseball bat. I mean, it started out as a complete accident and got twisted into this, and just how it's evolved. It's becoming, honestly, you can go back at the end of this year and look at rivalries for this year, and this is going to end up being one of the top feuds of the year. I guarantee it. People are going to talk about it. And I understand that Callahan, is not everybody's cup of tea. But man, I mean, everybody and anybody is either talking about this, well, maybe not this feud this second, but leading up to this, there has been a lot of conversation about it. So, hey, Impact Wrestling, you are doing something right. Callahan was right. This is a new age for new icons to step up and take over everything. I mean, he's everywhere. He really is. I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to show up at the All-In weekend, because that dude is money. So we'll see. So, yeah, crazy show. We don't know what's going to happen next between these two guys. I'm guessing it's going to end at Slammiversary. Pure speculation. So that's it for this one. We went back, we did a little different. Tessa is why I need to watch more. Yeah, Tessa is catching a lot of eyes, dude. And she's turning a lot of heads. And the fact that she did not go to NXT and she went to Impact Wrestling turned even more heads. So if you're a fan of Tessa Blanchard, let me tell you, she ain't in Impact Wrestling to play tiddlywinks. Let me tell you, she is there to make a statement, and she has been given an opportunity, and she is going to use it well. I guarantee it. So that's it for this one. Let's quick run down this Under Pressure card for next week. Like I said, this may change a little bit. They may add a little bit to this. Let's see. Oh, okay. The Impact World Championship, Aries versus the champ, Pentagon. Cannot wait to see that. And I hope they give it a decent amount of time. Knockouts title, Su Yung versus Ali. Oof, that's going to be brutal. It's going to be crazy. And I think it's going to be a damn good match. It's not going to be, okay, 2 months ago, I would have said Ali didn't have a chance. Now, I'd say she has a chance. So we'll see. Tessa Blanchard versus Madison Rayne. Young up-and-comer versus a veteran like Madison Rayne. Can't wait to see that. Brian Cage versus the winner, Desmond Xavier. He's probably not feeling like much of a winner right now. And then I got a feeling we're going to get another match or two thrown in there. But, yeah, that's a hell of a card. I can't wait to see that next week. Under Pressure. Cue the Queen music. No, I'm not even going to start. No, I'm not going to do it. All right, so thank you so much for watching, and thank you, Ant, for tuning in. Make sure you go to rantwithant.com and find out all the different podcasts involved with the Rant of Ant family. Thank you again for welcoming me back. So glad to be a part of this with my Impact Wrestling reviews. Humbled, seriously. Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope I can do your site, good too. So we'll see you next time. I'm not sure what's coming up next. Don't know if I'm going to do any last-minute stuff before this weekend. But if I don't, have a hell of a weekend. Stay safe. Much love. Peace. We'll see you on the road real soon.